Hi, my name is Charles Wilson. I'm the rector of St. Philip Episcopal Church here on the Near East Side of Columbus. Rector is just a fancy name for a priest or minister who leads a congregation in the Episcopal Church. I'm very glad you chose to spend some time with me to learn about the parish of St. Philip, our neighborhood, and the people who live, work, and pray in this historic church. But before we talk about what is happening now and where God is leading us, it might help to know something of where we came from. St. Philip was organized as a mission of Trinity Church in the fall of 1891. The first service was held on November 15, 1891, in a room previously used as a saloon at the northeast corner of Cleveland Ave and Naughton Street. The next place of worship was in Johnson's Hall on the south side of Mount Vernon, west of 18th Street. In September 1894, ground was broken for a new building on Lexington Avenue, and the first service in that church was held on Epiphany in 1895. On June 1903, St. Philip became a diocesan mission. On February 1928, the diocesan convention granted St. Philip parish status. In 1960, the site of St. Philip on Lexington Avenue was sold to the city of Columbus to allow for construction of Interstate 71. Until the current building at this address was completed in 1962, services were held in the gymnasium of the Beatty Center on Ohio Ave. St. Philip held a mortgage burning service on October 21, 1976, with the bishop consecrating the present complex on November 21, 1976. Ground was broken in 2011 to substantially enlarge the complex to accommodate its present needs and guarantee space for future ministries. The shell of this expansion was completed in 2012. Retrofitting the interior of the shell is anticipated to be completed in 2 phases as funds are raised. The late Reverend Herbert Smith served as St. Philip's first rector for 44 years, from 1912 to 1956. His tenure was followed by the Reverend Kenneth Higginbotham, who served for 12 years. Father Higginbotham was followed by the Reverend David Nickerson and the Reverend Alan R. Wendt, followed, serving 3 and 4 years respectively. Reverend Charles Smith came and served for 13 years. He was followed by the Reverend Quasi Thornell for 4 years, and the Reverend Jerome Burns, who retired in 2012 after serving for 10 years. Father Carl Rattan was appointed interim in late 2012, and I came as the current rector in January of this year. So that is where we came from and how we got here. It is a great story, and one that shows that this parish and her people have always been strong, faithful, and determined to follow where the Spirit takes us. Now, if you're still with me, a few words about the place and how it has lived in the space that God has given us. These days, St. Philip continues to be the only African-American Episcopal parish in Columbus. Our people come from all over the city in central Ohio, from right across the street from the church and as far away as New Albany, Pickerington, and even Delaware County. Our parish is a lot like other churches in what we look like. A donut with several members getting on in years and a bunch of kiddos, some who come with their parents and others from the neighborhood who get there on Sundays and through the week all on our own. Even so, it is a place of welcome for all people. With this eclectic mix, the parish operates one of Columbus's largest and oldest food pantries, serving upwards of 50 families each week in the building designed and built. Previously, the operation was run out of the parish library and a few freezers in the parish hall. St. Philip also is a leader in the Columbus African American community, with many members serving the wider community through advocacy and community involvement in the Diocese of Southern Ohio, nationally in the Union of Black Episcopalians, and churchwide in the Episcopal Church. What drew me to this parish and accepting their invitation to be rector is how the parish lives its life locally and globally, embodying the best ideals of the church and community. That is to say, the parish celebrates and lives into that idea that churches should be places of education, the arts, community, host and center, sanctuary, and worship. Some of the ways we do this I have already mentioned, our food pantry. Beyond that, we serve as a benefit bank center and a place for AA. In terms of art and education, St. Philip opened its doors to be the site of the premiere of the Woodland Park documentary. We participated in the national conversation on economic inequality sponsored by Trinity Wall Street in New York, and we hosted the artist and curator of Sacred Art Pilgrim, John Cohen, and we offered such yearly events as a fish fry, Saturday morning karate lessons, and lively Bible studies. The parish also is a member of the neighborhood associations of Woodland Park and Old Town East, where I live, and is a partner in the East Side Fellowship of Neighborhood Churches. With all that stuff going on, where do I see that leading us? Before I answer that, I want to share one of the things I realized and just hits me again as I speak to you, and that is a question to think about when this conversation ends. What is going on there on Sunday that makes all this happen during the week? The theologian Bernard Dozer once said that what happens on Monday is just as, if not more important than what goes on Sunday. She was and is and will always be right. But what we have going on Sunday is pretty cool, and it does matter. St. Philip has a long tradition of great music and an amazing choir. That tradition continues with the chancel choir, a men's chorus, and plans for a children's choir. Our Sunday mornings is a time where one can celebrate and contemplate with the early classical language of the Rite One service, or go big at the 10:30 service with all sorts of stuff going on. Now, let's talk about the future. A future in which you might begin to see yourself after hearing all this good news of being the body of Christ for the Near East Side. Earlier I said that what drew me to St. Philip was all the stuff going on inside the parish. What is going on outside our doors caught my attention too, and frankly is just as exciting. The tagline or one-pager of what St. Philip is about is this: the Episcopal Church for the Near East Side. We use this line to keep our focus outside of ourselves and our spot on Woodland Avenue, because a lot is going on here at the Near East Side. Here are just a few of these things. The Long Street Bridge has opened up, connecting us to downtown. That means where St. Philip sits is at the opposite of the city center. This bridge opening is sure to expand phenomenal growth Columbus has enjoyed these past years. Also, Bexley is coming across the river. Institutions such as St. Charles have moved across the water, separating Columbus from Bexley and becoming part of our neighborhood. The OSU East Hospital continues to grow and bring with it new development. What is exciting about this is that St. Philip sits in the midst of all this growth. We can and do and will participate and is working to ensure newcomers are welcome. Longtime residents have a voice, and the best traditions of the church and this community are carried forward as old customs are put away. It is an exciting time to be part of the church and to be in this parish, for we too are in this process as our neighbors, figuring out how to live and grow in this new season God has given us. Sound interesting? I hope so. Sound exciting? I know so. Is there a place for you? We sit in a big field. There is a place for you if you are ready for a new season. And just as Christ and the earliest Christians offered an invitation to come and see, I invite you to do so today. But not only to come and see, to come and be. I have enjoyed spending this time with you, and be assured I am sharing this story with someone else even now, for it is one of my favorites. Thanks for coming by, and if you want to talk some more or have any questions, feel free to call the church or drop me an email. If you want to learn more on your own, check out our webpage, or find us on Facebook, as the saying goes. And yes, we tweet too. Peace be with you, God's blessing be upon you, and maybe I'll see you in church.